Hey everyone, today we're here with a linebacker from UConn. Also, he was a former player at University of Delaware, coming out in the 2024 NFL Draft. Want to give him a chance to tell a story a little bit, tell us a little bit about him on and off the field. How are you doing, Noah?
I'm well, man. How you been?
Good, man. Can't complain. Um, how's the whole process been for you?
I mean, it's definitely been stressful, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you want to get what you want to get. You know what I mean? So, um, just hanging in there, getting everything I gotta get done, and just waiting to see what happens next.
Nice, man. Yeah. This is a special one too. Me and Noah were former teammates together at Delaware, so always nice getting to catch up and try to help him out a little bit for and give him a chance to really tell a story to any scouts or evaluators that might take a look at this video. So, first, I guess first and foremost, want to just give you a chance to walk, viewers through your journey a little bit. Maybe, from your background, where you grew up, stuff like that. Obviously you played at Delaware and then transferred to UConn. So, however you want to explain that and tell us, that would be great.
Yeah, well, name's Noah Plack. Born and raised outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Went to South Fayette Township High School. Played linebacker and tight end there. Had a good career there. Ended up going to the University of Delaware for 5 years after high school. Like Nick said, we were teammates there. Had a great time there. Played safety for 5 years there. Ended up being I was an All-American my sophomore year. Was I think 3 or 4 time All-CAA conference. So had a great career there. Then decided to wanted to challenge myself my last year of eligibility. Try to go play some bigger type football, play some better schools, get some more publicity, have my name be around some more people. So I decided to put my name in a transfer portal. And I knew I was going to be playing, if I wanted to get to the next level, I wasn't going to be playing safety for the most part, be like a linebacker, hybrid safety role. So I wanted to get some more work in in a linebacker, being a linebacker instead of being Terrence off the ball. So I decided to go to University of Connecticut, go play for head coach Jim Mora, a big name. Season didn't really go how we planned as a team, but I definitely made a whole lot of connections with people who can really help me out in the long run, and just not even help me out, but just great people just in general, just enjoyable to be around. So that's really about it.
Nice. So I know, when you were coming out in high school, you obviously, like most people, kind of play both sides and you played running back and receiver a bit. With playing strictly defensively in college, both safety and linebacker, how do you feel like that's played a role maybe in some of your play?
Fun fact: I played tight end coming out of high school,
Oh,
man.
tight end. Oh, wow. Okay.
Coming out of high school, I was an all-state tight end. I mean, I was a tight end. I pretty much played receiver for the most part.
Okay.
But like, yeah, but I played tight end. But I mean, I knew from like time I was like 8, 9 years old. I love like defense has always been my favorite. I love going around and just hitting people. Take a
Mhm.
little aggression on people by doing that. So I always knew I wanted to play down the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I had offers to play like an H-back tight end from different Division I schools out of high school, but I really didn't really focus too much on that because I really wanted to play the defensive side of the ball. Because it really is challenging, man. You gotta react to everything. Offensive side of the ball knows, where they want to go with the ball and what they're supposed to be doing. You gotta react to everything that they do. You gotta read. You gotta read their hints. Every offensive play has like a little hint of where they're going to go with the ball, what kind of play it's going to be.
Mhm.
So just playing the game inside the game is really like what I really enjoy to do. So that's why.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I think I saw something online that, but so you played tight end. You didn't play running back or receiver.
I mean, I was like a
You were
flexed
just a
out.
weapon. You
That
were
was like
just
a
an
flexed
offensive
out.
weapon.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha. So obviously, you have a lot of versatility playing safety, playing down in the box, some at Delaware also, and then playing linebacker this whole year at UConn. Um, so I mean, when you watch tape, and stuff like that, do you kind of mold your game to anybody in the league, past or present, or is it kind of just like a group of players maybe because of how versatile you are?
Yeah, I mean, it really is a kind of a group of players. I mean, I grew up watching the Steelers. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I grew up watching like Joey Porter, Troy Polamalu, James Harrison, guys like that who just like fly around, just hit people. So I
Okay.
didn't really have to like model my game after one certain person because I just saw that all the time. I wanted to do
Yeah.
everything that they did. But I mean, once I really got started growing up a little bit and like knowing the game and seeing like how I'm turning out, like guys like Cam Chancellor, his
Hmm.
bigger safety body, but just ran around and just flew around and hit people. Uh,
Yep.
really, really it, like intimidated a lot of offenses and stuff of what they wanted to do. And like a guy in today's game like Jabril Peppers, like Isaiah Simmons, who's like a hybrid,
Yep.
can play coverage, can also come down to the box, blitz off the edge, just tackle well, and that's really what I feel like my game is modeled after for the most part.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean the Steelers, especially in like the early like 2000s, 2010s, they were like their defenses were crazy.
Change the rules because of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no lie. So, kind of tell us a little bit in terms of how maybe the Yukon defense might have differed compared to Delaware. Obviously you were playing completely different positions in two completely different roles. But just maybe schematically, how they were different and just trying to give you a chance to kind of speak more to your versatility.
Yeah, at Delaware, we had like an exotic defense. We played the 3-3-5, which not many. I mean, it's getting more popular nowadays, but not many schools do anymore. It's literally like a three down front, compared to a four down front. We play like a 4-2-5, 4-3 ish at UConn. So I mean, at Delaware, it really was just see ball, get ball. Like Coach Manny Rojas just loved being aggressive, playing fast, and what you're thinking about what you were doing. Just wanted you to go, keep leveraging the ball, and go hit somebody. You know,
Yep.
and going to UConn, there was a lot more. I'm not gonna say technique, but like assignment driven things that you had to go to do. Like you had to fit in a certain gap at a certain time, no matter what happens. If the ball's going the other way, you still have to be in that gap,
Mhm.
which is kind of what I wanted to get when I left Delaware because I knew if I wanted to get to the next level, the three
Yeah.
three five wasn't going to be like a defense I'd be playing in.
Yep.
And with Jim Moore having the NFL experience that he has, the amount of teams he's coached on, the amount of players he's coached throughout his career, I knew that like he would put me in certain situations that would mold myself into who I wanted to become in the NFL.
That makes sense. So were you at UConn at least, were you playing a lot of man or zone, or were you more blitzing off ball as a linebacker, or kind of what was that like?
Yeah, we did a lot of everything. I played a little bit of Sam, like outside linebacker in the beginning of the year. Then we started going to a lot of more nickel. So they started putting me at will and on the weak side. We played a whole lot of cover two a lot too. So
Okay.
I mean, was playing the high hash and even sometimes if we went like a zone pressure and the corner blitzes off and they cover two, I go out and play the cloud corner sometimes. And then,
Okay.
yeah, obviously sometimes I'm blitzing through the AB guys who are off the edge especially if I was playing Sam, blitzing off the edge in the beginning of the year, I was able to do a whole bunch of different things in that defense.
Okay. And then at Delaware, I mean, you really were playing in the box, playing back deep. So you had a lot of versatility there, obviously, as well.
Yeah, I was probably like 8, 9 yards off the ball at playing that middle safety role, the rover we called it. There's times that we played cover three where I would roll down and play the hash, or and there's even times where we play like two man under. I'd be the half field safety back. You know, we played cover four. I'd be playing man on man for the most part, a slot receiver. Uh,
Hmm.
there's times we even just like send the house, and I'd come down and like play like a pretty much like a rat hole kind of guy while everybody else is going to blitz and then like a man coverage type. And I just have the quarterback or running back in the backfield.
Okay. So, when you're kind of watching film, prepping for a game, stuff like that, or just kind of doing film study over the off season, what are some things you try to focus on to improve your game, whether it's watching for certain things from an offense or I don't know, anything like that?
I like watching. I like seeing like what the formation is of
Okay.
what teams are doing because teams run certain plays in a certain formation, and that's really about it. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty of it, I like to like watch the receivers a good bit because I like to see how they like set people up. You like because learning how offensive guys learn really helps how defensive guys, figure out what they're going to do.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's because the game nowadays is going to be like everything's spread. So like and people are like with 7-on-7 being so big nowadays, people have so many different ways of trying to find the ways to get open, and
Yeah.
just seeing all the different type of ways that people get open is really like it's fascinating to me, and I love watching that because it can help me be a better ball player, so I know what to expect sometimes. And then after I get past like watching that the skill guys, bro, I like to see the O line play too.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, seeing how often if I'm scouting for a team that week, seeing how often teams like run like a power or pull type, or if they're like a zone blocking scheme type of team, and
Okay.
seeing which type of guys like love to like get off the ball, or like some guys like to get off the ball and some guys like to just sit back and like just hold, not gonna say hold, but like just absorb all the pressure that's getting into them. So stuff like that.
Gotcha. So obviously, like, kind of from that transformation from playing, safety rover to linebacker, was there anything specific? I mean, transformation wise, putting on more weight or kind of getting, stronger, stuff like that last offseason, knowing you were going to be changing positions at UConn, or I mean, it was just a natural change for you.
I mean, I would say it was natural, but I definitely had to put on like 10, 15 pounds. I played safety at Delaware at like 205, 210. I played around 225 this past season. So I
Okay.
definitely had to put a little bit of weight, but it wasn't really too much anything that was difficult for me, especially because UConn has a lot more, I would say, resources that are easier to get to
Yeah.
and to be able to like get in the weight because we had protein shakes right after lifts that you have to drink or else you're not, finishing the lift.
Yeah.
And so like stuff like that was just made it a lot more easier for me to gain the weight. I think I'm pretty sure I was at like 220 before I even got the
Wow.
so like yeah, during that little like couple months span while I was in the portal, I already knew what I was trying to do. So I
Yeah.
went mind to it.
That makes sense. So, kind of being at both places, Delaware and UConn, what would you say some of your best memories from playing college ball might have been, or if you have one or two specifically that stand out?
I'll start with UConn just because it was a closer memory.
Yeah.
First game of the year that was playing at NC State at home.
Wow.
Seeing the just the crowd. I mean, we came out with the loss that game, but still seeing the crowd and how people were finally invested in UConn football again for the first time in a long
They
time.
traveled or travel big, their fans?
Yeah, they did travel a good
Oh,
bit. It was a fun time, even though it came out with a loss, but we pushed through. Close game till the end. Couldn't get it out. Our running back Victor Rose had a nice little 71-yard touchdown run, and
wow.
I really thought after that was like we're gonna be
Yeah.
something. I really thought we were gonna be special. But I would say my favorite memory from college football that I had was definitely the 2020 COVID season. You
That was
know,
a crazy one.
that man, like the amount of stuff that we went through to even be able to like, be allowed to play,
Hmm.
and the way that we came out with Dejan Lee house in the kick return
Yeah, that was crazy.
first kickoff of the season. I knew after that it was going to be just a great year. We went undefeated in the regular season, made playoffs, won the CAA championship, um, made it all the way to the Final Four until we ran into the juggernaut South Dakota State.
Yeah.
Just being able to play on ESPN with that being the only football on that's been on for 6 to 9 months, and just seeing all my
Yeah.
friends back home, watching, and that was the year I was All American as well. So I mean, I was playing probably the best football I've played in my life. So it was just an all around great time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like him taking the kickoff to the crib first play of the
That's the
season.
whole
Like
thing
you
off.
kind of already it had like that was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Shit.
Yeah. What was I gonna? So I guess kind of wanted to also ask you, in terms of film, when you have a lot of tape, obviously playing a whole lot at Delaware, playing at UConn, also a linebacker this past year. What do you think some of your best traits or maybe attributes would be that scouts are probably seeing as they're putting on your tape?
Like we've talked about already, like I'm a very, very versatile player. You know,
Yep.
I played safety and linebacker at a very, very high level. I
Mhm.
played 60 total games in college. 47 of those I started. You know, I think I had almost like 350 tackles.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm a smooth athlete too. It doesn't really show that I'm quick and fast on film sometimes, but I'm a very, very, very smooth athlete. And I play physical. That's one thing. Being born and raised in Pittsburgh, you know, watching that Pittsburgh defense, you're not like you have to be physical in order to play Pittsburgh high school football.
Mhm.
And just having that, you know, is really the main thing that you need sometimes in football. If you're playing fast and physical, then the rest of the stuff will happen for you. So I feel like those types of things, just being on top of that, just being how versatile a player I am. I can play man coverage on tight ends, running backs, even sometimes slot receivers. I can blitz off the edge. I can blitz down the middle in the A gaps. You know, I can play lower zone coverage. I can even roll back and play post half field safety coverage. You know, I can do just about anything that there is to play on the defensive side of the ball. So I mean, that's really it.
Gotcha. Obviously it's not something that people talk about a lot, but I always think it's important to kind of identify maybe where you have a weakness or two, so you could obviously improve on it and focus on addressing that. Um, I mean, if you were to be asked, like, do you have a weakness or two in your game that you're kind of working on? Is there anything that comes to mind?
If there's one thing like about being at this high level that
Yeah,
we're at right now, you know, there's not many people that have a real weakness, and I would say myself,
yeah,
I actually don't have a weakness, but you know, there's just everyone can always on the defense side of the ball can always work on tackling better,
yep,
and you can just say that, but like the way I look at it is that like there's a lot of times where I try to go for like kill shots to just try to kill people, you know, or like
yeah,
dive and like try to make people flip over and like dive their knees and stuff, but like instead of like actually like in like a form tackle and
yep.
just getting the guy to the ground because sometimes that doesn't work out, you know. So just being able to just like learn to use a form tackle every once in a while more than I have in the past. But that's really what
That's it.
I would say.
Yeah. And I'd say even like the NFL, how they're changing all the tackle rules, like even this upcoming year, like
You're gonna have
it's
to.
something you have to continuously change. It feels like every year if
Yeah.
you're playing on the defensive side of the ball. Um, so obviously you kind of, played at two different programs, played at a high level at both. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you feel like makes your journey different to this point, or maybe different or unique from someone else?
I mean, I would just say, you know, football's all I've known my entire life. A lot of people can say that, obviously, but you know, my uncle was the head coach at my high school, at my alma mater, until I was about like I'd say 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he's now the head coach at a school down the street. You know, they lost in the state playoffs or the state championship game this year. They won our district. You know,
Okay.
stuff. So football's all I've known my entire life. I remember being like 3, 4 years old out in the field with them. And they're in like the fall camp, and, you know, just
Yeah.
sitting there with the football in my hand, just watching everybody run around. That's all. That's the only thing I ever wanted to do. It's the only place I know I feel comfortable in, the only place that I feel like I can succeed at, you know. So this is really it for me.
Yep.
You know, I'm putting all my chips in the table, and I'm going all in on everything I got.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, so he still coaches. Then you're saying so like this past season they won the districts. You were saying.
Yeah, they won a district and they
Wow.
lost the state championship to MOTEP Charter. I don't know if you heard about them, but they're
Yeah, in
yeah,
PA they're
yeah,
huge.
they're a powerhouse in Philly.
So wait, so how does I mean, I'm not sure how it works in Pennsylvania. So is it like all the schools, no matter of like where you are city wise and stuff, they have one
There's
state championship or
there's six classifications, right?
okay.
There's six classifications, and then there's I don't know how many districts there are, but like I would say like 10 to 15 districts,
Mhm.
and every team like there's six district championship games, and the winners of those district championship games play in the state championship games.
Oh wow.
So then yeah, so
So it's
this
at least a couple. It's a pretty long playoff then.
this 16 game season if you make the state championship game.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy for high school at least. Yeah.
I was lucky enough to go 16-0 my freshman year. I didn't really do too much. I played special teams, but I got to go the whole way.
Yeah.
We won the championship. It was a great time.
Wow. That's awesome. So, obviously I know you just finished up your pro day, probably about what, like a week or two ago now. How did that go? How's the whole, pro day prep stuff? How was that all going and everything like that?
Yeah, pro day prep was, it was a grind. 6 days a week, 3, 4 hours a day. It was a lot, but I definitely felt myself get better as not even just as I mean, obviously as a player, I got stronger, bigger, faster. But as a human being, just being able to just be resilient, and just being around the type of guy. I was with guys that were at the NFL Combine, that are going to get drafted, and just being able to watch them work, but also
Yeah.
compete with them while I was doing it. That was also a great time.
Iron sharpens iron type of thing, right?
Sure, for sure. I was training out here in Pittsburgh, about an hour north of Pittsburgh, Newcastle, PA, with Terry Grissetti at Grissetti Performance. Shout out to them. They do a great job. I think it was his 14th year doing it, and
Wow.
he's a class act. He was a strength coach at Youngstown State for a while, and Slippery Rock, I believe, before that. But yeah, he really is a class act, and then I definitely got better being there. I still plan to train there for a while.
Nice. Probably just ask you a few more questions and then we'll wrap up. So kind of wanted to ask you, I know we've been talking a lot of ball stuff like that, but is there something interesting, maybe a hobby or something that most people don't know about you that you want to share?
I mean, I like video games a lot. I'm a
Yeah.
gamer. I'm a gamer. I got about 11,000 songs downloaded on my phone.
Wow.
I'm avid music listener, like hip hop and rap, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fun fact. I don't know if you were there my freshman year, but
No. Mm-mm.
we had the talent show, that talent
Yeah.
show.
What'd you do?
I saw the Rubik's Cube in under a minute and a half.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got a nice little standing ovation. So
That's
that's
impressive.
always like the little, like, what's something fun about you? And
Yeah.
I can solve Rubik's Cube in under a minute and a half.
You still could now, you think?
Yeah, probably not a minute and a half, but probably
Yeah.
I would say like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah, I probably could.
That's solid. Yeah, I mean my freshman year, I feel like the funniest one was like somebody impersonated Rocco or something. That was a pretty good one. I forget who it was now that
Any Rocco impersonation, though,
yeah.
usually get a thumbs up from me
Yeah.
because he's a character, to say the least.
Yeah. Great guy though. Great
For
guy.
sure, for sure.
Um let's see. So, obviously you being at UConn or Delaware, any current guys playing there that you want to give a shout out to?
I mean, guys at Delaware, hardly anybody who I would
Yeah,
play
I
with
guess, right?
anymore. I mean, I give
So,
a
yeah.
shout out to Marcus Jones. He's a dog running back. Gonna
Yep.
have a great season there. Ty Davis, a young guy who had his first year start my last year there. I
Yep.
felt like he learned a lot from me and a guy like Kedrick Whitehead,
Yep.
who very well. At UConn, I'll give a shout out to my Pittsburgh guys who are out there. Jelani Stafford, D lineman, can do everything just about. He scores touchdowns on offense,
Wow.
he's quarterback, does everything. And then Tui Famina Brown, my fault, Tui. Uh, but Pittsburgh guy from Gateway, going to lead that linebacker group this year with me and Jackson Lee ahead now. But yeah, shout out to those guys.
You get a lot of Pittsburgh guys that go to UConn or
Not really. There's a
yeah.
couple. There's a couple up there. I mean, Jelani went up there after he was at Youngstown State for a couple of years, and then he went
Okay.
there. He followed his D-line coach Kenny McClendon up there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of wrap it up and just give you one last chance to make a final pitch to scouts and evaluators that might be watching this video, and why they should take a chance on you and bring you into their program.
I'm gonna just take a chance on me because I'm gonna do everything right. Anything you need, say or want from me, you're gonna get it. I'm a very versatile player. I can do everything in football, and I know, promise you, you're not gonna have to worry about anything about me off the ball or off the field. So, I'm in the facility and I'm at the house, and that's it for the most part. But um, yeah, that's really about it.
All right. Yeah. Like I said, wish you the best of luck. Hope this is helpful, especially with the draft coming up later this month, and wish you the best.
For sure, man. Appreciate you. Always nice catching up with you, my boy.
Oh, absolutely, man.